Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Lavanya. And good evening to everybody who's joining in. Like Lavanya said, my name is Druhi Sethi, and I've been with Social Beat and in the digital marketing field for about 3.5 years now. So, without delaying further, I'm just going to jump into our session for today. So, when brands and clients talk about digital marketing, they often say we are looking for viral content and engagement, right? That these are terms we very often hear. But what do these engagement metrics or viral content, how does it tie back to the business's end goal, which is revenue, right? So when we look at campaigns and when we look at them with an objective of engagement or viral, for it to go viral, we often forget the business's end goal, which is revenue, right? So today we're going to learn about how to set up performance advertising campaigns for higher ROI, which is return on investment, lower CPAs, cost per acquisitions, and how do we increase the quality of the leads or the inquiries that are coming in, right? These are three things that we're going to be going through in the session today. So when it comes to return on investment on digital platforms, there are two challenges that most brands face. One is aligning the metrics and KPIs to the business goals, right? So we have brands saying and tracking clicks when their actual end goal is sales or store visits or purchases on the website. But they often get caught up in tracking the clicks or cost per clicks. So how do we align these KPIs and metrics back to our digital campaigns? Now, why they are often unable to do that is because of attribution or they're unable to track down to sales, right? So when we say attribution, most brands don't have a setup where they know that this particular sale or this particular purchase came from Facebook or Google. So the attribution model is not set or they don't know how to track it down to sales. So these are top two challenges for proving ROI from digital. But it's not impossible, right? You need to have a good setup to be able to overcome these challenges. So before we get started as to how to go about our attribution models and aligning our KPIs, we need to start with setting the business goal and work backwards from there. So what is the business goal? Is it number of sales? Is it a particular revenue? Is it store visits? Define that business goal. And then see how you can achieve that goal based on the current metrics. So let's say currently we're getting 20 sales. How much money should we pump in to get 50 sales, let's say? And what are the metrics that we need to track based on that goal, right? And sometimes these numbers are not achievable in a certain time period. So you need to track back and say, maybe these numbers with high ROI will come in 3 months. It can be a year, it can be 3 years. So you need to plan it out and set it up and then make that decision and say that, okay, it's going to take me 3 odd years to get the ROI from my campaigns. It's not always going to happen overnight, right? And make sure you're present where your target audience is. So, for example, you are in the B2B space, a brand that is in the B2B space, but you're running ads on Facebook. Sometimes that might not work out because it might be difficult to find your audience on Facebook. So LinkedIn might be a better platform for you. So make sure you're on the right platform and on the platform that your target audience is at. So defining the business goal, making sure you know the time period that you will get that ROI in, and making sure you're on the platforms that your audiences are at. So these are three things that you need to begin with before setting up your performance campaigns. Now going on to how to set up for good attribution. A good attribution setup, what does it consist of? So the first thing is to make sure you have your codes in place. It can be your Facebook pixel code, it can be your Google Tag Manager codes. Make sure that these codes are placed well on your website. The second thing would be UTM links or CRM tracking links. So UTM links would be for businesses at a smaller scale, where you can go put up UTM links where you have the source, the campaign name, the ad name. And CRM tracking links is when you have a good CRM setup. Use Google Analytics and Facebook Analytics to see where the traffic is coming in from and where the conversions are coming in from. So along with your dashboard, it's good to have a good analytical setup as well. A CRM tool or like to store leads and fill the gap between leads flowing from marketing to marketing to sales. So often we do have a lot of leads in the system, but often it does not pass on to the sales team. So make sure you have a good system where all the leads that are coming in through your marketing efforts reach the sales team as well. So you can do it with a CRM tool, and there are many other tools that you can use to make sure you can fill this gap. Also maintain a platform with all leads for the business with source with sales feedback to track quality. So wherever you're storing all these leads, make sure you have feedback on that same sheet where you have the source available as well. So you can track where you're getting good quality leads from, like which platform you're getting good quality leads from. So this is what a good attribution comprises of. Next section is how to reduce cost per acquisition. So there are 6 hacks that you can use to reduce cost per acquisition on any campaigns. The first thing would be to optimize your landing page. Is your landing page, the UX, is it great? Is it mobile friendly? Is the speed of your landing page good? Right? So make sure your landing page is in good condition and speed is right, because the ads might be working, but once the user or consumer comes onto your landing page, that experience also should be as seamless as the ad or the video that's played towards them, right? So the first one is optimizing your landing page. The second would be leverage on different creative formats. Most platforms offer a lot of creative formats for you to use. So sometimes we get stuck with using only static or only carousel, but there's so many more formats that you can use. You can use slideshow videos, you can use collection ads, you can use messenger ads. So make sure you A/B test and try out different creative formats. Also A/B test different content. Try out different forms of headlines, different forms of CTAs, A/B test different communication and creative patterns, and experiment and see what works for your brand. Sometimes we run the same communication for too long. A good refresh is always necessary. And make sure everything is designed for mobile. Your creatives, the amount of text on the creative, the size of the text on the creative, your landing page, all of these should be mobile optimized. The next one would be to not heavily depend on core audiences. Leverage on the audiences that have already interacted with your business. It can be in any form. It can be people who have interacted with your page. It can be people who have interacted with your video, people who've liked a post, people who visited the website, people who have viewed content on the website. So these are people who interacted with our business in some way or the other. So it's great to leverage on these audiences that have interacted with our business. And the last would be to leverage on the full funnel marketing approach, which we'll look into detail a little bit later, vernacular marketing content and personalized content. So when we say vernacular, we mean regional languages. So as we all know, 90% of India consumes vernacular content on YouTube. So that is to say that people are comfortable with their own mother tongues or regional languages. So tapping into that regional language market will get you lower cost per acquisition. And when we say personalized content, we mean cater to the target audience that you're talking to. When you're talking to women, use a language that, when you're talking to a particular age group of women, talk in a language that they would understand. If we're catering to men, understand their interests and talk to them in a way that they would understand. We look into personalized content as well in detail later on during the session. So these are 6 ways that you can reduce cost per acquisition for performance marketing campaigns. So when we look at, now we come on to lead quality. So when we look at the most important lead qualification factors, which is ranked over here from most to least important, the first thing is your lead should be aware that they have signed up for the need or the problem that they have. They need to know that they have signed up and this is their need or this is their problem. Authority to purchase. They should be the decision makers. So these are the factors which you look into for lead quality. They have bought into the solution. Make sure that they know what they are getting into and what they are buying. Then the sort of it becomes less important whether it's in their budget or not. Are they going to buy it immediately or not? Their geographical location and others. So first three important factors are they need to be aware of the need of the problem, they need to be in the authority to purchase, and they should know what they're purchasing into. These are the top three lead qualification factors. So now, how do you make sure you increase the quality of your leads from your performance campaigns? One would be to be transparent and add all details. Often marketers leave out on very important details in their advertisements. They probably don't give out the price of the product or the size of the product or manipulate the way the product looks, like better imagery. We've seen that a lot of consumers know what they're getting into and can tell a good ad from a bad ad, right? So be transparent and put out all details so you get higher intent users. When somebody knows exactly how it looks and inquires for that product, they are more likely to purchase it than somebody who's come in having a very flowery image of the product. So be transparent and add all details. The second thing would be to make form fields required and add custom questions. When we say form fields required, a lot of times we do have landing pages with 6, 7 form fields, but they are not all required. So people will just give you the name, number, address, but they won't give you the other questions that you have asked. So add custom questions and add more form fields so you know that this person is really interested in your product and is inquiring because they have a higher intent to purchase. Next would be to have your CRM and marketing automation in place. So this helps fill that gap between marketing and sales where you don't lose out leads in the middle. So if you have a good setup, you make sure that all your leads go on to sales and the sales team can do the convincing process and make sure your leads convert, which will give you a higher quality. Another thing that which is very important is following up on these leads really quickly. So let's say somebody is inquired today, but we get back to them only a week later. They might forget that they have inquired for this particular product or service. So follow up with the leads quickly. We recommend within 24 hours, but it's really necessary to follow up with them quickly so they don't forget that they have inquired. Again, the same thing that we had put down for lowering cost per acquisitions. Full funnel approach, vernacular marketing, and personalized content works to increase quality as well. The last is lead nurturing through emailers, SMS, remarketing, discount campaigns. So once somebody has inquired or somebody has shown interest, we make sure we don't lose that lead. Because if they've shown interest once, they're more likely to make the purchase later, if not now. So we keep reminding them that we exist, that we are there, we have offers, we have a special discount for you because you had inquired with us before. So these tactics make closure easier when it comes to a lead or a sale. So this is a case study for one of our clients, Casagrande, where we had generated 50% of a qualification lead ratio. Over the years, we've seen the percentage of qualified leads from Facebook lead generation for Casagrande increase. We see a significant number of our leads turning into site visits and overall revenue. So the ROI is notably high. How did we achieve this? Is we A/B tested different creative formats, different forms on Facebook. We leveraged on personalized and vernacular communication strategies. And we also leveraged their databases when it came to site visits and bookings. So we created lookalikes of those databases and saw a great increase in quality of the leads. So these are tried and tested techniques. And yeah, we increased the qualification rate by 50%. So now coming to the full funnel marketing approach. So the full funnel marketing approach, like we mentioned earlier, helps getting us high intent or high quality interested audiences at lowered costs. So it's a 3-step process. We call it the full funnel marketing approach because we're taking our audiences through a marketing funnel where they see stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 based on how they've interacted with the ads on different stages. So the first stage is the awareness stage. And this is where we target a broader audience segment, where we show the broader audience segment something generic where we're trying to make them aware of the brand. So typically on this stage, we show a brand video where we want our consumer or a potential consumer to know who we are and what we're trying to sell. So in this stage, we're trying to get their attention and also make them aware of the brand. So at this stage, we will be targeting a broader audience segment. For example, let's say 100,000 people, just to explain the concept better. So we're targeting 100,000 people and we're showing them a 1-minute video of the brand. Now, let's say 50% of the people watch the entire video, right? So we know that that 50% was interested in the video and watched it because something in the video interested them. So 50% of that audience will now go on to the second stage of the funnel, which is a consideration funnel. So we will remarket the second stage only to the 50,000 people who have watched the entire video in the first stage. So we next get them to consider our brand. Now in the consideration phase, we can show them a blog article, we can show them another piece of video, we can show them an influencer video. The content piece can be anything. We show them, let's say, hypothetically, we show them a blog in the second stage to help them consider the product to those 50,000 people. And then we track the amount of time spent on the blog. So now people who spent, let's say, more than 2 minutes on the blog was 50% of the 50,000 people. Then we take the 25,000 people to the conversion stage where we show them a direct ad where we tell them buy our product or buy our service. So we're converting them after taking them through a journey. They saw a video, they're aware of our brand. Then we gave them a blog. We asked them to consider our brand by giving them more information. And then we take them to a stage where we convince them to buy our product. So what this helps doing is it filters out the people who might not be interested and keeps the people who are interested in our marketing funnel. So we show them, we take them to the next stage, to the next stage, to the next stage. What happens is when we straight away go to the conversion funnel where we just show them ads to buy our product, keep telling them buy our product, buy our product, buy our product, but they haven't heard of the brand, they don't know what we stand for, they don't know the details, they're less likely to buy the product. So that's where full funnel marketing comes in, where you can lower the cost per acquisition through full funnel marketing, which is taking the users through the entire journey. So this is another case study by CasaGrande where we leverage the full funnel marketing approach for one of their offer campaigns, which is a 100-hour offer campaign. So in stage 1, we marketed a 30-second video with all the details of the offer to the broad relevant target audience, that is people in the market for real estate, with the objective being completed views to funnel down the interested audiences, right? And in the second stage, it's an intermediary stage where we had a blog where we could gauge their intent levels more and remarket the blog with the location, price benefits to the people who watch the entire 30 seconds of the branding video. And then we push them to the conversion stage where we have ads with clear CTAs and we tell them that these are the apartments, these are the products available, why don't you buy them now? All right. And the result of this campaign was a 60% reduction in cost per acquisition and 48% improvement in the quality of leads. So the full funnel marketing approach not only helps you reduce cost per acquisition, but also improves the quality of the leads. Now coming to the importance of personalized content. So when we customize the content for different audience cohorts based on their age, gender, behavior, interests, it's called personalized content marketing. And tapping into vernacular content with the language filter also is very effective to bring the cost per acquisitions down and increase quality. So it's not just for the first touch point, it's not just the ads that need to be in personalized content or in vernacular. For example, you do show a YouTube ad in Tamil and then you're remarketing that same audience, then our display or remarketing ad should also be in Tamil. But it doesn't end there. Your landing page and thank you page should also be in Tamil. So when you're taking them through a journey, not only your first touch point has to have that communication, but that entire journey should carry that communication. So if you're catering to a Tamil audience, you need to make sure that the ads are in Tamil, but also the landing page experience has to be in Tamil. Or even if it's personalized content, if you're catering to a particular audience segment, make sure you carry out that communication till the end, right? So this is a case study for Tata Mutual, and the thing is, they are in the tax segment, so tax can be sometimes boring. So we wanted to create a fun campaign that, leveraging topics that are trending. And what we did is we created 4 videos where it had the same protagonist, but it had 4 different demographics. Each video had a different demographic. One was a working woman, one was a management trainee, a sportsman, and an executive relaxing at home. And we used everyday scenarios that everyone, no matter the age or gender, can identify with. For example, shopping for groceries or ordering pizzas. And we came up with a really catchy campaign hashtag as well, saying no to Katauti. So we can quickly watch that video and see what the results of the campaign were.
Mutual funds to save taxes and make it engaging? We brainstormed our way into hitting these points and this idea was born. Social Beat presents Say No to Katauti for Tata Mutual Funds. Our goal was to break the belief that one cannot save on taxes with mutual funds. So we decided to make the video engaging, humorous, informative, and to make the audience realize how it pains to see taxes eating away your money. So how did we make this stellar campaign a hit? With the reach of videos surging, we wanted to make the best out of it and created a video series with relatable everyday scenarios. Now think, a relaxing weekend. One scrumptious pizza awaits at the door. How would you like it if your pizza came with 1 slice less? That would be a heartbreaker. Then he is your savior. He is smart, unforgiving, a Katauti veteran for Tata Mutual Fund who likes to have fun. We capitalized on this emotion and made our videos relatable to those who bear the brunt of tax cuts. To new employees, sports fans, homemakers, and almost every taxpayer ever in distinctly different themes. We produced 4 videos with engaging storylines and interesting screenplay under the hashtag No to Katauti, and a series of posts followed. As a result, the overall campaign got 9,41,60,648 impressions, 51,92,547 interactions, and 7,764 leads. According to the Google Brand Lift case study, there was a 38.1% lift in brand recall and 216.2% lift in brand interest and 13.1% lift in brand awareness, and that is one happy client.
So over here we see how impactful the whole personalized content marketing can be when you're talking to the audience that you're catering to, and if you have 4 different audience segments, you're catering to each of those audience segments and you see a higher impact for any of your campaigns.
Mutual fund.
So another case study of another mutual fund client, which is Sundaram Mutual. They again broke down the target audience for demographics like gender, household income, parental status, and showed each ad to different segments of their target audience. So, for example, Kamal, who was planning his child's education and retirement, we targeted only parents of age 35 to 54 and created a custom audience of people using child education calculators and child education investment plans. So people in this segment only saw the ad which says meet Kamal. He secured his child's education and his retirement with no debt. So people in this audience segment will relate to the communication where they need to invest in mutual funds to be able to secure their child's education and their own requirement. Second, they also want mutual funds is not only for older people, it's also for younger people. But younger people's motivation is different. So let's say younger people want to travel. Their whole objective is to work, make money, and travel. So they said, meet Neha. She went on a debt free vacation to Europe at 25. So they targeted people of age 18 to 24, where they were travel buffs, enthusiasts, and also interested in investment, interested in competitors, and but only targeted them through travel related placements and topics. So this is how they reached out to their different target audience segments. There are more advertisements and more personas they created like this. And they saw a 32% decrease in CPL or CPA, 26% qualified leads, a 91% increase in conversion rate, and a 39% increase in click-through rate. So yeah, that's the power of personalized content. The last phase of the funnel would be lead nurturing. So, lead nurturing is something that is a process that takes a lot of months where people are interested, but they need some more time to make that decision. So, we can do is we can reach out to them through emailers with blogs with more information about us. We can leverage WhatsApp for business. You can also show them more videos promoting your product or your service. Second would be to reach out to them through Gmail, InMail, Google's InMail, running contests, promoting the contest highlights, giving them free discounts, offers, referrals. So you take them through this journey of convincing them that the brand is the right brand. This is the brand that you should go with. This is the brand that you should make the purchase with through different stages. So we call it a lead nurturing campaign where somebody is interested but they haven't made a purchase. So you give them more reasons to make that purchase. And by the end of it, you will see a higher conversion rate of leads turning into customers. So one such way that we did for a particular client was, let's say they come to the website. So anybody who came onto the website, we show them a video, we show them frequently asked questions, we take them through a test where they get instant results, we show them a brochure, we show them a couple of videos. So we take them through an entire journey. This can be through SMS emailer campaigns, this can be through WhatsApp for business. So you take them through that whole journey. So to summarize, we need to set a business goal, narrow down our audience, and then work backwards. A/B testing or experimenting is everything. Try different creatives, text, languages, different communication, try out different landing pages. Communication to change at every stage of the consumer's marketing journey. So make sure your communication goes along with the journey. A good attribution setup is must. Talk to each audience cohort in the way they understand, which is leveraging personalized marketing. Leverage on the current database, people who have interacted with your business. Lead nurturing is an important part of your marketing journey to get higher conversion rates. And vernacular plus mobile plus video is the combination for lower cost per acquisitions. So with that, we will take some questions from the audience. So somebody has asked in full funnel marketing, what is a lead magnet and how it works? So often on platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook, it's like a barter of sorts where the brand is willing to give you a report or access to a video in exchange for your information, right? So it's a way you acquire leads by giving something in exchange for your email address or your phone number. It could be done in a form of a video or a report. So a lot of brands like Gartner give out their reports in exchange for your information. So that's what a lead magnet is. So a lead magnet could come in the awareness or consideration stage of the funnel, and that's how we go about it. Another question that Prasad on Instagram has asked is what kind of market research to do while starting advertising for startups? So assess how to assess what's happening in the market is by looking at your competitors or people that you aspire to be like. What are they doing and what are their results like? So that's how you set up market research, where you see what they're doing right, what is getting them that traction in sales and business, what are the campaigns that they've done that have made a solid impact. So that's how you go about doing market research, by looking at your competitors first and see what's working for them. I think Tamil has asked on Instagram for a case study from hospitality. That's something that I might have to get back on, because I don't have a ready case study for hospitality, but that's something that we can get back to on.
Sure. So we also have another question, which is what are the external factors which really impacts these digital advertising? While what we do on the ad platforms is very important, what about the external factors like your website itself or your social media channels or something you do on digital PR? How important are those, and any tips that you could share on best practices there?
So it is really important that what you're saying in your advertisements sync to all your touch points digitally, even though it's not part of your advertising journey. That same communication has to be carried across on your website or the external factors as well. So that's why we see a higher impact on digital when we do 360-degree campaigns, where that same communication is being carried out everywhere. When that consumer sees this communication everywhere, they're more likely to convert. So to make sure all these digital touch points are in sync, even if it's not part of the advertising journey, because if they're not converting through the advertisements, they are more likely to look you up on the internet or go onto your website. So to make sure all these communication of what you're saying on the ads are in sync with each other.
Sure. Also, what's your thought on videos, right? So that's definitely something we've seen pick it up. So what do you think, some tips for people out there, startups trying to make videos or trying to use, because it is sometimes difficult for them to also get that budget, but we know that there are options where we can make simpler videos and use that in advertising. So how important are videos, and also if you could throw in some shade on how what are the different techniques that they can use to create easier videos?
Sure. So it's a very common misconception that you need a huge budget to make a video. And your question as to how important videos are really, really important, but you don't need a big budget to make that video. There are a lot of online tools where you can just make simple slideshow videos, add in that music, text, and create the simple video, and it will have a higher impact than your static ads itself. So we have apps like Animoto, Canva helps you make short videos as well now. You have Render Forest, which are you do have to pay a small fee for these tools. Canva is free for shorter videos, but Animoto and Render Forest, for a small fee, you can create great videos, unlimited great videos on these platforms, where you can add animations, you can add text, you can make slight movements, and these videos will in turn definitely perform better because it helps you catch the consumer's attention better.
Also, we wanted to check on mistakes that startups do, right? Like, because it is sort of that phase where you begin to experiment. So what's really the reliability that one can have on these A/B testing that we usually do on advertising? What can they do and how do they do, and also what are the things that they can do a split test for?
So I think one of the common mistakes are people sort of slack off on branding. They think that jumping into lead generation or conversion ads straight away is going to show them the results. But people need to be aware about you. They need to know what you stand for. What is it that you do? So you need to take them through that journey of informing them and educating them of what you stand for and what you are before you try to convince them to purchase your product or your go for your service, right? So that process is something that a lot of startups slack off on. They have the budgets, but they want to put it on just getting customers. But maybe the first 3 to 6 months, go put them through a journey where you're informing them, educating them, tell them this is what you stand for, this is what you have to offer, and then push for conversions. So that's why when we spoke about the ROI cycle, we said that it's not going to happen overnight. For some brands, based on what your business is like, it might take 3 months, it might take 3 years. It's an investment. So your return on investment might not come overnight, it might take some time. So when you're putting in the money, you might as well put it in the right way. And when it comes to A B testing, again, when you're doing this entire process, even after your branding and you go on to your conversion campaigns, it's not like it's going to click right away and it's going to work. You will need to try different things and see what works for you. It can be different images, it can be different communication. It doesn't have to be a drastic change. When we say A B test or experiment, my campaign A can have learn more as a CTA, and my campaign B can have sign up as a CTA. That itself makes a lot of difference, right? So campaign A might do extremely well with the learn more CTA because maybe sign up scares people. Sign up means, oh my God, I have to give my information right away. I'm not going to click sign up. So this is just hypothetically speaking. So even though smaller things can be A/B tested, the smaller things make a difference. So experiment with different things. A word different there, lesser text on your creative. Smaller things make a difference. So even if it's let's say you only have 4 words of text in your creative, see how it works without any text at all. It might make a difference. The text might work, the no text might work. So it can be smallest to the smallest things can be tested and see what works better. And it actually makes a huge difference.
Sure. We have a question from Mohit, which is he thinks the webinar is very insightful. Thank you, Mohit, for that. And how much percentage of your target turnover that a brand needs to make? Should the brand invest in social media marketing? I think this is a little subjective based on the target you're looking at, but do you agree, Druhi? Or
Yeah, I agree that for each brand, it would work differently. It depends on the target audience, where your target audience is present. Are they on social media or not? Uh, but as an average, what we do recommend is 60% of the marketing budgets to go on to digital, and then we split it into social media, emailers, into different segments based on who your target segment is. But if you're talking about marketing budgets as a whole, we would say on an average, again, there are brands that put 100% of their marketing budget into digital, but as an average, we would say 60%.
that answers your question, Mohit. We have a question from Anurag Sharma, which is how to check social campaigns of competitors, like their CPA, CTR, etc., and spends.
So you cannot see the spends, CTR, CTA, etc. of competitors, but you can see what is giving them an impact in terms of sales, in terms of revenue. There are reports online where you can get their revenue data, etc. But seeing the exact CTRs would not be possible. But you can see the industry benchmarks. There are tools like ads quotient, etc., where you can see the industry benchmarks and then see where you stand in comparison to the industry, but you can't go after specific brands or competitors to see what their metrics look like.
Sure. Also, if you could brief us a little bit about consumer personas, right? Like when we start digital advertising, how important is to put it down in terms of as detailed as possible about what are the people you're going after, and what stage should we do this? Something on that.
I would actually like to show you how detailed it should be from one of the brands that we were working on. Just give me a second. So it should be as detailed as possible. To answer your question, we need to really know who our consumers are, not in terms of demographics, but also in terms of behavior, right? What is it that they're doing? What does their normal day look like? So you need to chart it out and put it out there that this is what my consumer's day looks like. One second.
Yeah, while we look at that, any more questions, we can take it up right now before we wind up the session. So please do post your questions in the chat box.
So, for example, this is for a US based formal shoes company where they've been around the market for a while. And first, we try to identify what the audience cohort is looking for in these shoes, right? This is how you come across the whole persona where you say that these customers are looking for shoes that are comfortable, they're looking for quality and a long lasting product, suitable for every location, affordable luxury. So you identify why our customers going to go for our shoes. Then you narrow down on who these audiences might be. So for formal shoes in the US, it might be working professionals, university students, or partners and parents of our primary audience. And then you break it down into persona. So this is ideally how the persona should look, where you're saying they come under the age bracket of 23 to 55. What are they doing online? Because this is specific to digital. You say that they spend their time on social media for networking as an outlet. They're equally active across platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So you know that's where you need to advertise for this particular persona. And then you see what a typical day would look like, their typical day would look like. So here we've taken as an example Dave, who's 32. He works for a law firm and he wants the pair of shoes to go with his everyday suit. And he's in the mid management level, so he doesn't have quite that budget. He could afford one pair of high end shoes, but he prefers to have variety on the same budget. So we've broken it down and we have a picture of what Dave might look, right? Dave, who's probably somebody who's going to buy these pair of shoes, how does he look? And the same thing with the university students, where we say they're not present on platforms like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, but instead they're present on Instagram, where they're consuming a lot of video content. Then we see that Alex's typical day looks like he goes to classes, he's in university, he goes to the local bar after university. He's looking for a pair of reliable mid-luxury brand because he's still on a part-time pay. And then again, you see what the cohort for the parents or partners would look like and which platforms they're present on. So detail it out as much as possible and lay it out saying, this is what they're doing on digital. This is what a typical day in their life looks like. Also, I think in the beginning, somebody had asked about market research. Another way to see what is happening in the industry and what the demand of your product is like, you can also leverage trends.google.com, where you can see what's happening in this industry, what are people's search trends like in the space for your service or your product. And that gives you a lot more insight as to what's happening in the industry.
Sure. We have two more questions to end this session. So one is from James Parker, which is quite specific question, I should say, which is how do you get traffic from, I'm assuming he's asking about USA. So how do you get traffic from USA on my websites?
You just target the US as a location on any of your performance marketing ads. So that's the beauty of digital. You can reach anybody anywhere. So you just need to put a location filter and say United States of America, and you can target that audience segment.
And next question is from Anurag, which is, you mentioned that retargeting of people who've seen the full video when you spoke about full funnel. So he is asking what is exactly the full video views, because most of the platforms count view as 3 to 4 seconds. So he wants to know the right way to actually take a view count.
So we usually do 75 to 95%. So when you are creating a custom audience, you do have the ability to say people who watch 75 or 95% of the video or a completed view. So we consider 75 to 95% of the video watched as a completed view because we don't want to lose out on the people who've also watched a bit more than the rest. So 75% is also a good number. So I would say 75 to 100%.
All right. I hope that leaves us to the end of the session. Thank you so much, Druhi, for your valuable time and a lot of these insights, and also taking us through the customer personas as well as in addition. Looking forward to doing other sessions with you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I hope you're all taking away something with you today.
Yes. So thank you all of you for joining us today. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach us on info@digigrad.in. And please do leave us your feedback on the form my team has posted in the chat box as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you, everybody.